Hello and welcome to the BVB update for August 25th. I'm Stefan, and in this format I cover Borussia Dortmund news and other shenanigans. And today, of course, the top news is the Champions League draw, but you need to show a little bit of patience because I'm not going to cover this alone. I'm going to be joined by my Yellowwallpod co-host Matthias Suuck to give a couple of reactions to that draw. So in the meantime, let's start with the injury update, which of course is also interesting ahead of Saturday's match against Hertha Berlin. And there we start with a couple of quotes of what Edin Terzic said at today's news conference. And there he said, quote, "Let's start with Daniel Malen, who was already sidelined against Bremen. He suffered a small muscular tear in his hamstring and will be out another 7 to 10 days approximately. But he's already training individually. We're hopeful that he can train without pain very soon." And then Terzic continued, "As for the other players, Mo Dahoud, Nico Schlotterbeck, Mats Hummels and Karim Adeyemi were all back on the training pitch this week. Hummels and Schlotterbeck carried knocks from the Bremen game, but were able to participate in every training session this week. Mo Dahoud's training yesterday was slightly limited, and we will see today how his body reacts to the strain. Karim Adeyemi completed yesterday's training with the team, and so we are expecting him to be available for the weekend. And Marco Reus suffered a knock on his calf in the second training session last Tuesday. He received treatment this morning, and we're optimistic that it's nothing bad." And then there are, of course, a couple more quotes from the news conference. As you can see here, Sebastian Kehl also present. And Sebastian Kehl did, of course, talk about the rumors that are surrounding Thomas Meunier, who, of course, was linked with moves to Manchester United and Barcelona recently. But there, Kehl said, quote, "A lot what has been written about Thomas Meunier was not what he told me. Obviously, I talked to the player on Monday and Sunday, and we had a long conversation, and it's obviously normal that a player is disgruntled if he doesn't play. However, it's the coach's decision if he plays or not, and there were reasons for him not playing against Bremen. Otherwise, a lot has been written about our club. We have also been linked with midfielders from England." I think he's talking about a rumor there linking Dortmund with Naby Keita. And then Kehl continued, "The transfer window is open until next Thursday, but it is not our plan to sell Thomas Meunier. There's nothing new to report. We didn't receive an official offer. There is no haggling over transfer fees or anything of that sort. In general, I assume that the transfer market will heat up again starting Monday." And since there were a couple of reports that Terzic and Meunier had a falling out, Terzic also responded to that, saying, "Playing Marius Wolf against Bremen after he came on against Freiburg and helped turn the game around was a sporting decision, so I don't understand why all of a sudden it should be a personal thing. There was no fight between Thomas Meunier and me. There is no problem between us. These reports are simply false." And Kehl also did say there's no update on Akanji or Schulz in terms of them being sold. And Terzic outright refused to answer the question if any of those two would be reintegrated in case they would not leave the club. And one more quote from Kehl is sort of an unprompted urge to the fans and media to give Anthony Modeste a bit more time to integrate and not instantly label the transfer as a flop. And I guess with that, we can move on to a little bit of a rumor. And that is from The Telegraph, who are writing that Manuel Akanji is Leicester City's #1 target if Wesley Fofana is sold. So if you're into, better hurry up with that offer. I see your Champions League group is pretty hard, so might need him in order to prevail against Bayern and Barcelona. But more news on Dortmund centre-backs is that Antonius Papadopoulos has signed a professional deal with Borussia Dortmund, basically just extended until 2024. So not the biggest update, but nevertheless, I think it bears mentioning. And of course, today is also the birthday of Michael Zorc. He turned 60, one of the biggest, if not the biggest club legend of Borussia Dortmund. And of course, Matthias Suuck's all-time favorite player. And with that, I can add him to the show. And there you are, Matthias. It's great to see you. How are you doing?
I am doing okay. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Welcome to the BVB update. It's the first time I have a guest, so it's nice for you that you are the guest.
Yeah, I'm actually available. I mean, I'm back from, it seems like a month over in Europe and not hitting the road yet. So yeah, perfect timing.
Yeah, nice. So the Champions League draw, Borussia Dortmund did manage to land in a group with Manchester City, Sevilla and FC Kopenhagen, the Danish champions. Now, Matias, obviously we have played against Man City and Sevilla, and also with Edin Terzic really at the sidelines 2 seasons ago. Last season obviously never happened. But yeah, what's your initial reaction?
Well, initial reaction, I would say could have been worse.
Yeah.
Could have been the Bayern group, which I think they have a difficult one with Barcelona and Inter, and Lewandowski. That'll be interesting. Obviously, how does it have to be? Of course, Bayern have to draw Lewandowski and Dortmund have to draw Holland. I mean, it's just the way it is. So it'll be interesting to see that matchup unfold. Manchester City are a different class than most clubs in Europe. I don't think that's a slight on Dortmund. I think that's just a factual statement. Sevilla, we got a little bit of recent history there. It's a club that I don't have a ton of love and warmth for.
Yeah, neither do I really. It's
and it seems to even worse under Lopetegui. I mean, it's just like dirty. I don't mind a team that's hard-nosed. I really don't. But they're dirty. Let's just be honest. And they play a style of football that I personally don't value or enjoy. Copenhagen, yeah, I mean, they are theoretically the team in the group that's just going to be beat on by everybody else, as it should be in that case. I mean, it's Copenhagen. I do actually occasionally watch some Danish football because they show it on ESPN Plus and, at a time of day when there's nothing else on.
All right, that's very desperate.
Yeah, that's called sitting there with a toddler and nothing else to do.
Fair enough.
But I mean, I hate saying what I'm going to be saying because it sounds so incredibly arrogant, but it's the Danish league. So it's a team that Dortmund should get 6 points from. I calculate 0 points from Manchester City. And I think Sevilla could be one of those you win at home and you lose away.
Yeah, maybe. Or you win home and away. I don't quite remember how Dortmund managed to progress against them in the round of 16 recently. But, if we just look at the financial numbers, and thank you very much for Transfermarkt to putting it all out there. Yeah. If you look at the value of the squads, Manchester City with over 1 billion, it's absolutely ridiculous, to be honest. But Dortmund 513 million, give or take, and Sevilla, roughly under 300 million, and then of course Copenhagen with only 70 million. So you already see that Dortmund are probably, according to the value of the squad, of course, are probably going to be tipped the slight favorites to edge out Sevilla, and I would concur with that. I think that Dortmund should beat Sevilla in the group, or at least finish ahead of them, one way or another.
Should. Last season, Dortmund should have advanced in the Champions League and did not.
That's true.
And Sevilla is one of those teams under Lopetegui. The way they play is a style that Dortmund have had difficulties with. They're defensively very solid. They step on your toes. They're good at set pieces. These are all hallmark Dortmund weaknesses. And you add to that an edge of dirtiness. Playing in Sevilla will be tough in front of that crowd. Very difficult, but, they have to come to the Westfalenstadion, and that's not going to be easy for them either. So that really is the most intriguing one. Of course, it'll be interesting to see Manchester City. I do like these valuations because I think Dortmund now are less skewed than they were last season when you had Holland in the side, because that completely skews that average value or the total value because one player's value was so high.
Well, unfortunately, you have to subtract the value of Sebastian Aller, which is included here, but obviously...
true, but it's not a Holland level valuation. So it'll be interesting. It's a group that I'm looking forward to. I think there are a lot of intriguing matchups there. The key thing is don't do a Werder Bremen against Copenhagen, please. Yeah. And Sevilla is going to be tough. Manchester City, that's the kind of match where Dortmund can actually go into a game with no pressure. I mean, really, it's nobody expects you to beat them. And so you can just play. Whereas Pep Guardiola, now I'm putting some things in there, okay? I'm projecting a little bit of wishful thinking now. Pep Guardiola, since Barcelona, has been an abject failure in the Champions League. Since he no longer had Lionel Messi, Pep Guardiola has done exceptionally poorly for his expectation level in the Champions League.
So this is their record from last season where they crashed out against Real Madrid in the semifinals. And what I would say is that Pep Guardiola is, I think, very well known, and his sides that on Champions League away days, they usually take a draw on you. You see it here against Atletico, the scoreless draw, obviously. A scoreless draw at home to Sporting does not make sense. But, they even lost away to RB Leipzig in the group phase. So that tells you really, how much they care. I don't know how the scheduling is exactly, but if Dortmund play at home to Man City last, then that would obviously favor them heavily, because by then Man City should already be through. But I think the narrative that you try to cook up here has some truth to it.
Pressure. Yeah. Pep has pressure. He has to deliver. I mean, they won the Premier League again. They are looking like odds-on favorites to win it again this year, probably walking away with it at this point.
Are they the best team in the world right now with not only Haaland, but Kevin De Bruyne and, of course, Ilkay Gündoğan? Yes. And most importantly, who also will return is Sergio Gomez.
Yeah, no, I think they are the best team in the world right now. They have such an incredibly deep squad that is so good, even in depth, that, their number one title rivals, Chelsea, Liverpool, I will not throw in Tottenham in there because I've been burned for 30 years. But you look at Liverpool, they don't have that depth. And Manchester City just have a depth that nobody else has. PSG doesn't have it because they have so much money tied into like 3 players. Real Madrid get close-ish, but not quite. Barcelona, not even close. Bayern, maybe. They've actually impressed me so far this season. Hard not to, but Manchester City, they are the best team. If they don't win the Champions League this year, or every season they don't win the Champions League, is a failure with Pep Guardiola. It's like with Bayern. Bayern can win 2 out of 3, but they just measure the Champions League higher than everything else at this point. And I think Manchester City, they're gonna waltz their way to a Premier League title this year, and they are by far the favorites to win the Champions League. But Pep Guardiola has this penchant for completely overthinking things. But he has now he has the level of team now like he did in his Barcelona years where they won the Champions League. So I think Dortmund can just have fun in those 2 matches and see what happens. Terzic had fun against City before.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this time Erling Haaland is on the other side, and
that is true.
And Haaland obviously has a penchant for scoring in the Champions League. That is sort of his competition, where he excels in more than in the league play, I would even say. So for Dortmund, this could be a bit of a headache, but maybe he's going to be injured again. Who knows? But no, in all honesty, I think the games against Manchester City will be breathtaking, especially the one at the Westfalenstadion, because we're going to have a sold-out Westfalenstadion, and at full capacity. I mean, you will have 81,000 fans now, because the UEFA, of course, did reenact the rule that fans are allowed to stand, and for Dortmund, obviously, that has a massive advantage, probably more so than any other, because all the headlines when those news broke had the yellow wall as a featured image, and that tells you pretty much everything you need to know. So I personally am very much looking forward to the Champions League, and So is Gregor Kobel, because there are a couple of quotes here. He said that Dortmund have had good memories when it comes to Sevilla. I think more to the recent times. He said, we still have to score to settle with Man City, and Copenhagen is a first. We want to survive the group stage and reach the knockout rounds. I'm looking forward to the stadium being at full capacity, and I think that is pretty much sums it all up. Dortmund, of course, want and probably should survive this group stage, especially if we take a quick look here at Sevilla's last run in the Champions League. And that also did not look too prominently, because they managed to not come out of the group with RB Salzburg, with Wolfsburg, and with Lille, which I think is even less of an achievement than Dortmund's recent performance. I don't know what to say about Sevilla other than that I'm once again looking forward to Thomas Delaney returning to the Westfalenstadion, but I think you've pretty much summed it all up. But, I just wanted to say that Sevilla also have something to make up for from last season in the Champions League, and at the same time, they also did not have the best start to their league campaign. I think they lost to Osasuna and then had another draw against Valladolid or some team I don't have right in front of me, but
I mean, my hope is, I expect Manchester City to win the group, and then Dortmund finish second, and Copenhagen to finish third, and Sevilla fourth, and don't get anywhere, because I just spent some time in Denmark and also in Copenhagen, and I absolutely love that country. So I really hope that they finish third and go on to the Europa League.
Well, it's anything can happen. There are no guarantees in sport, as you can see here. I mean, if you do not make it out of a group with Wolfsburg, Lille, and RB Salzburg, then that is really a terrible performance.
Yes.
So who knows how Sevilla will perform? And I think in the coming weeks we also have to explore maybe with some actual experts from these particular teams. What shape and form they are in. Obviously, we all know how good Manchester City are doing right now, but when it comes to Sevilla and their turmoil and FC Kopenhagen, I'm drawing a bit more of a blank. I know you, as a Danish league watcher, of course, can give a little bit more insight, but
it's whatever happens to be on ESPN Plus when I happen to be awake far too early.
Fair enough. So, Matthias, thank you for coming on to the BVB update. That is it.
It's fun
for today. Yeah, right. It's a bit of a more a podcasty vibe than just the news, if you will. But I'm here for it. Actually, after I missed you on the Yellowwallpod on Monday because I had Nick Wildhagen on, this is a nice way for you to finally return and
ease back into things.
Yeah, exactly. So we're not going to talk about the Bundesliga, so not going to torture you with that. So as always, like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you think about the UEFA Champions League group draw, and we shall be back with predicted lineups tomorrow, or rather, I shall be back. I don't know if you're going to be around, Matthias, but as always, thank you for watching and goodbye.